I'm with DIY Detail. Today, we have this Jeep in for polishing. Nick is off on a flight somewhere, so I need some help. I brought help in the form of Brian from Fab Automotive Detail and Keeve from Cars with Keeve. These two gentlemen have said that they don't really have a lot of experience finishing with a rotary. So we're going to finish with a rotary, guys.
Sounds like fun.
Okay.
Can't wait to learn.
I'm a little afraid.
Pardon me?
I'm a little afraid the myths are just out there.
Yeah,
They got me psyched out.
They're myths. Don't worry. If you can handle the rotary, then the DA might be a little easier for you. And for me, I always started my employees with a rotary because the DA is actually harder to handle than a rotary.
Okay.
So they're just myths. Don't worry about it. Let's get to polishing. Right behind you, we have a cart. If you can roll it this way.
Now, you do it opposite of everybody else. You actually cut with a DA.
Right.
And you finish with a rotary. Can you explain why you do that?
So cutting with a DA, and for us, our DA is a 25 millimeter stroke. If you think of it, your pad is going around a circle, right? If we just isolate one piece of abrasive on that pad, on a rotary going 600 RPM, it's going around, let's say around 5 meters per second.
Right.
That's how fast your abrasive is going around. On a DA, that 25 millimeter stroke is actually going 9 meters per second. And your rotary, on the outside, it's going a certain speed, but on the inside, it's going slower. Same RPM, but different diameter. With the DA, the whole pad is doing that. So the pad is oscillating 25 millimeters. The whole pad is oscillating. So every little drop of abrasive is doing the exact same amount of work.
Okay.
And it's doing more work for you.
And can you finish down with a rotary better than with a DA?
Most people can.
Okay.
And it comes down to pad technology.
Okay.
It comes down to technique as well.
Okay.
If you're using, you go in and out of dealerships, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, in a lot of dealerships, the people that are working there haven't had the best training in the world, or any training. And they've seen some guy, the old guy, when they walk in, okay, this is how you hold the polisher, this is how you do it. They get their 30 seconds worth of training, and he's probably putting pressure on the machine. They call it a high speed for a reason, because they're using it at high speed.
And they're putting it all the way as max speed.
Yeah, max speed, on an angle, pressure. That's a great way to get holograms.
Yeah.
If you want holograms, that's the way
And I
to
see it on dealership cars all the time.
Right.
So I'm excited to let you show me how to do this. I've always wanted to learn how to do it. I've kind of perfected DA the best that I can, but rotary is just something that I need to put in my arsenal. So let's get on this.
Yep.
So the myth, or what you're thinking is cut with the rotary, cut with the DA, finish with the rotary.
100%.
But everybody always says cut with the rotary, finish with the DA.
Basically what's happening is they're going by feeling, they're not going by actual science. And the science behind it shows us that the abrasive is moving faster, the DA, the whole pad is cutting, you're doing more work with the DA than you are with a rotary. And the DA can leave micromarring, something that doesn't exist with a rotary. Now, rotary can leave rotary holograms, but that's bad technique. It has nothing to do with the machine. So first thing, gentlemen, tradition on our channel, set of red gloves.
If you say so.
I know you don't like gloves. They're not my favorite either, but I'd like to keep my beautiful old skin the way it is, not worse. And, polishing, there's not many chemicals involved, but still, chemicals are chemicals.
Yes.
So.
And fingerprints afterwards.
And I wore these every day as a mechanic, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, exactly. You're used to it. First thing we want to do is start with a clean, damp pad. Not a wet pad, not a dry pad. Especially not a dry pad.
Why damp?
Why damp?
Yeah.
Better lubrication.
Okay.
First of all, like the traditional polish, right? They'll take this pad, they'll put 4 or 5 drops of polish on it.
Yep.
Then they start polishing. There's only 4 or 5 areas that have lubrication. The rest of it, it's dry foam going across the paint. Not a good idea. Whether
like an abrasive kind of?
Yeah, whether it's a DA or a rotary. We want to slightly moisten the pad. Okay. We don't want it wet. Wet is just, going to sling everywhere. We don't like sling, you don't like sling, you don't like sling, I don't like sling. There we go. I had to prime it first. And if you like sling, leave it in the comments. I doubt there is anyone that will leave that comment, yeah. And then I'm just gonna rotate this over the pad washer, lift it up about 1/4 inch, spin it out at speed 6 so no more moisture is coming out. And now I have just a barely damp pad. It's not wet in any way, it's just damp.
Okay. And what do we have in the bucket?
Rinse and wash, 250, 6 to 1.
Okay.
Then from there, we're going to take our gold standard polish, and this is very different in the industry. It's a sprayable polish. A couple reasons why we have a sprayable polish. One is, if you put 3 or 4 drops on there, you only have 3 or 4 spaces that are working. Secondly, the sprayable polish gives you a better coverage over your pad, and you use a lot less product. So one pull of this trigger is 1.1 milliliters. The drops that people put on are usually about 1.5 to 1.6 milliliters, or even more. So you're using a quarter of the polish than you normally would with this. So 2 of these bottles equals a gallon of anybody else's polish.
Wow, that's crazy.
So from there, 1 spray on the pad. And now we have a nice distribution over the pad. I have it on speed 1. It's the lowest speed the machine will go. You don't want to go any higher than speed 1. The next thing is the grip on the machine. A lot of people will do a death grip. You want the more relaxed grip you can do. You don't want to have pressure on the machine. You don't want to have pressure on yourself. Have good posture. You don't want to be down here. You don't need to smell the polish. It smells like bananas. I'll tell you right now. You don't need any more than that. And then
Don't do anything that I've ever done with a dual action polisher.
Pardon me?
Just don't do anything I've ever done with a dual action
Okay,
polisher.
so you're the type of guy that does this?
No, but I'm just saying pressure. And,
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh, even the dual action we don't use pressure. But, yeah. To me, if it feels like you're working, you're doing something wrong.
Okay.
You paid good money for this machine. Let it work for you.
Do the work.
Yeah.
You're just trying to keep the pad as flat as possible.
Right. All we're doing is keeping the pad on the paint. So I'm using 2 fingers. I'm going over body lines. Very, very easy to control. I don't even have to look at it. It's not, you'll feel the balance. And with the rotary, if you lift up the back end, it goes one way. If you put the back end down, it goes the other way. If you try to tilt it, it'll go one way. If you tilt it the other way, it goes the other way. So once you find that point of balance.
And when it comes to a rotary type,
Yeah.
When it
So-
comes to a rotary type machine, does the type of machine matter as much as say as a DA machine?
No. So rotary, 2 important numbers: below 800 RPM and above 2400 RPM. The below 800 RPM is your working speed. So up to 800 RPM, you're good. I prefer like a 400 to 600. And then your top speed, you want above 2400 RPM to spin the pad. If it were up to me, this would be a 2-speed switch. Work, clean.
Okay.
That's it. It would cost more to have, it actually costs more to have a 2-speed switch than a variable speed. So yeah, we're sticking with that. But you saw how easy it is to control.
Yeah.
Where people make mistakes is not using the trigger lock. When you're holding this trigger, it effectively locks your wrist and your elbow. So now your movements become jerky and harder to control. The other is putting weight. Third is trying to hold on to it. The less you hold on to it, the easier it is to move, the easier it is to maneuver. The less you're working, the more work it's going to do.
Now, typically with a DA at least, we do a crosshatch pattern.
Yeah.
I noticed when you were doing that side earlier, kind of testing,
Yeah.
you really didn't have a pattern, for the most part.
It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
The crosshatch pattern is good for memory.
Okay.
So
Muscle memory.
yeah. So basically, you know you've gone left, right, up, down, left, right. I've done 3 passes. I'm good. For myself, I like going left to right.
Okay.
When I'm teaching, I always teach the crosshatch, just because, again, it's that mental cue of, oh, I've started this way. I see lines going up and down. That means I still have one more pass to do.
And it's easier to size your 2x2 section.
If you can get a microfiber towel out of the top drawer there. Someone starting, put that on the hood. That should be your section size.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's just an easy,
So like 18 by 18 or 16 by
an
16.
easy representation. That should be roughly what your section size is. Another thing is, don't polish wider than your shoulders. So Brian can polish 2 inches wider than you can.
Yeah.
Because once you're extending yourself, you're losing balance, it's hard to control the machine. Posture is something that a lot of people don't consider in polishing. Posture is a very important part of polishing. Have a good posture, and don't be bent over and hunched over the machine. Stand up straight. The machine doesn't need your face looking at what it's doing. The machine can easily do what it needs to do without you even looking at it. And the more you look at it, and the more you try to control it, you heard the sound change. All I did was rest my hand. And that's enough to make it more difficult to control. So our polisher actually has a little divot under here to make it easier to hold with your finger.
Okay.
And that's it.
Wow.
So, you know,
Now, when you come over this curvature here, are you angling your hands at all, or are you just using the softness of the
we use a
pad?
waffle pad. And something to show here. So I've got no polish there. Again, just 2 fingers. I'll go over this, come back up. I've polished that whole section.
But how are you hitting like right here?
The waffle is conforming to the surface.
Okay.
If you want to have a problem with the rotary, use a flat pad. A flat pad is going to pull you around everywhere. It's going to be difficult to control. And to do this, you're going to have to do this, hold on to the machine, go down like that, then go like that.
And I see it all the time in shops that I go into.
Yeah. Well,
Tilting the machine constantly.
yeah. So easy errors with the rotary.
Yeah.
Yeah, the waffle creates less heat. The less heat, the better it is.
Yeah.
But errors that you see in shops is this, this.
And that's common.
Yeah, that's common. Again, if it feels like you're working, you're doing something wrong. Who wants to try?
Oh, I'd love to.
Let me start you off with a clean, fresh pad. Okay. Never put clean polish on a dirty pad. Oh, sorry.
All righty. And as long as I keep it flat.
As long as you keep it flat. So as an experiment, just lift up the back end a little bit.
Oh yeah, it starts pulling on it.
And then drop the back end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know if you're not flat.
Once you find that equilibrium, it becomes super easy to do.
Now, how fast do I want to move the polisher?
As fast or as slow as you want.
Okay.
But the slower you move, the faster you work.
Okay.
Because you're letting the machine do the work.
So like right there, I can feel that body line pushing against me a little bit.
Yeah.
Or either that, or I'm not pulling it up.
You just let it follow the curves.
And this is the best way to get jeweling?
100%.
Okay. Just the ultimate gloss that you can get.
Yeah. So people freak out about the rotary. It's going to create heat, right?
Right.
So what temperature are we at?
86 degrees.
Okay. Hold it there for a minute. Just don't move it. Are you stressed out yet?
No. It's not shaking me to death either.
No.
It's nice and smooth.
Yeah. But some people at this point would be stressed about the heat on the paint.
Yeah.
What's it at now?
94.
So we went up 8 degrees.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So the faster you go, the more passes you have to make.
Right.
Basically.
The slower you move, the faster you work.
Because I'm not one to move slow when I'm polishing, so. But with a rotary, I guess I'm going to have to learn to keep myself.
Oh, you can go faster if you want. It's more work for you.
Yeah.
You paid for the machine, let it do the work. Now, if you feel the machine starting to get grabby, that means your pad is starting to dry up.
And that's and lifting up, that's such a cool trick to learn.
Yeah.
I lift it up and immediately wants to pull one way or the other.
Right.
And that's actually pretty, that way you know. See, and I've tried using the rotary at my house by myself.
Yeah.
I just could never get it smooth. I was constantly bouncing around on me.
And you probably did that with a flat pad.
It's a flat pad.
Yeah. Flat pad, I wake up around...
So this is key.
Yeah, I wake up around 3:15 every morning, so I can hate flat pads a little longer every day.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's just not the best tool. You know, a flat pad is inexpensive, but it has a lot of drawbacks.
Okay.
Whereas this has no drawbacks other than, you know, it looks funky, but they work well, they're smooth, they get into contours that you can't get in with a flat pad. So you're working less.
For my viewers,
yeah,
what is the advantage of finishing with, all the advantages of finishing with this versus doing a dual action? Is it faster to finish with this, or is it just better, like as far as your finished product?
So faster and better gloss.
Okay. Yeah, it's smooth. Yeah, that's big.
It's a lot easier on you.
Yeah.
You know, as the user. But the other thing is, you know, people will say cutting with the DA isn't right. there's no right or wrong way to
As
detail.
long as you get to the end
Yeah.
result you want.
Right. The cutting with a DA, if we go, pad for pad, machine for machine, same thing, the DA always cuts faster.
Yeah.
The rotary feels like you're cutting faster. And on some defects, if you've got the good old school wool pad, you're going at it, yes, you might cut a little faster with the rotary. But then you're going to have to do more steps to correct that than with the DA. If you're cutting with the DA, 2 passes with that, like left, right, up, down, you're done.
Okay.
That's it. Because all the DA is left behind when we're cutting with the DA is a bit of micro marring. All you're needing to do is get rid of that micro marring. Whereas with the rotary, you have to get rid of those swirls, and some of them are deep. Some of them are really aggressive.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was super simple. Now, I look forward to doing on side panel. I don't know if
You have one right
if your
there.
hands are going to be different. Do I need to add more to this? Or
We never add more. We clean.
that's right. I'm sorry. Can I wipe off this hood really quick? These lights really throw me off that they have in here in the shop. Yeah, it looks great. Looks really good.
Ready for a side
Yeah,
panel.
let's try this side panel. But it's not as easy to keep it flat. See, and I think that's why I gave up on doing it at my house, because the machine kept walking on me.
Right.
That's because I didn't realize I wasn't keeping it flat either.
No, with a flat pad, it is going to walk on you. That's just the
Yeah.
way it is.
Yeah, so this makes so much more sense to me.
The fact that the pad is damp, that it's not, grabbing the surface, and you can go right over that emblem.
Yeah, you barely even feel it.
You barely even feel it, and you've got polish all around that emblem now.
Oh, it's super smooth. I like that.
Now, just put it here. You're wiping the polish off with a dry towel.
Always. I always do.
Yeah. Gonna switch it up on you.
Okay.
Start with a damp towel. And you don't need to put that much effort into it.
And damp with...
Rinseless wash.
Right.
So the rinseless breaks down the polishing oils.
Okay.
And then you're not in a rush to dry it off. Let Mother Nature do a bit of the work.
Let Mother Nature do a little bit of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually. Nice and
A
smooth.
lot less effort, right?
Yeah.
And you have less risk of re-scratching the panel because you're not putting any pressure on the towel.
So when I'm detailing a Tesla, less chance, because those things scratch on polish removal a lot of times.
Yeah.
Man, that looks so good. Just that little bit of work that I did. I don't think I did that, did I?
No, that was there before, trust me.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And another thing that you've probably never done before, do this.
Do the polish? Or the...
The trim.
Just go ahead and use it like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of different to me, because I've definitely never done this. I'm just going to do a small section to see the difference.
But also, you'll notice that the pad is getting right into there.
Oh, yeah. So we're getting right up against the trim, which is almost impossible with a DA. It's moving up and down the way it's moving.
Yeah.
Same thing, wipe off with wet.
Yeah.
Dry. And for my viewers on my channel, the polish is perfectly fine to use on plastic,
Exactly.
extra plastic trim.
Yeah, not every polish. Our polish, yes.
Right, because normally that's, no, you off the polish
Yeah,
on it.
we don't use tape. Tape is a waste of time.
Right.
And you can actually get into trouble taping.
Okay.
So you can get glue
Well,
lines.
residue.
Yeah,
And I've
exactly.
had that happen to me before, and it's like you fight to get that stuff off of there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that worked great. I like that a lot.
excellent. As to where it's going. So you could polish right up to that trim without touching it.
Yeah, but if we do, it's no big deal.
Yeah, like here I touched it, but here I wasn't even touching the trim.
Okay. All right. It's your turn, Mike. It's actually way easier than I thought.
Nice.
Next.
So like I said before, clean pad.
Yeah.
We got one spray on there as it's spinning to get it all dispersed properly.
Right.
But we don't have to do the whole
No.
thing. Okay.
Start working.
Okay. Just start working.
Use the trigger lock. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the less you hold onto it, the easier it's going to get.
Yep.
So your backhand, just wrap one finger around the cord.
Like here?
Yeah. Just, no, one finger. Use your index finger.
Oh, like that. Oh, like this? Oh, I see. Like you were telling Brian earlier, like when you change the angle, you can feel it
Yeah.
walking you.
So this way, it's a lot easier on you.
Yeah.
There's no pressure whatsoever.
Obviously, when you come into the, it's much smoother. Yeah, especially on this contour right here, and with that waffle weave, like you said, it's
Yeah.
catching all. When I go across this Jeep logo, it's basically getting all around it without having to
Yeah.
get in there like this, and then
Yeah. And the slower you move, the faster you work.
How would you suggest working around like all this
So,
trim? You would just run across it?
yeah, you can run across it, or let's say in here, the rotary has the advantage of being able to do this.
Oh yeah.
So you just go down between the two.
Oh, nice. Get used to the trigger here. Like I say, if I wanted to come around just this edge,
Yeah,
just holding it like that.
yeah,
But then we can also go right over to trim because the gold standard doesn't have any fillers. And we don't have to worry about, getting residue all over our trim.
no. It's a stress-free polishing experience.
Now, do you fear these grills or anything tearing up the waffle?
No. Now, if they're really pointed or something, yes, but
Yeah.
These are not, so.
Now, when you do these little areas right here, you do want a little more control over the device.
Yeah,
Right?
you're using it in one, 3 fingers instead of 2.
Yeah.
So your pad choice is crucial.
The pad choice is 100% crucial.
Yeah.
And that's why we designed your system with 3 very specific pads to do the job, but you don't need more than those 3 pads. Everything you need is within those pads. Yeah.
Keep it simple.
So I had multiple shops, multiple employees. Everyone was trained on the same system. We had 2 machines, 3 pads. That was it. Long stroke BA and a rotary.
Now, is it better on curves like this to work like halfway on the curve, or is it better to work them up and down?
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter?
Whatever works for you.
What RPMs is that machine spinning at right now?
600.
600 RPMs.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's the intimidation factor is nothing.
Gone.
So I take
Like, it's like-
cringe when these guys turn the machine all the way up. They're polishing.
Yeah, it's a great way of ruining paint.
Yeah.
It's hard on the machine. It's hard on the pads.
Is that how they're getting holograms and stuff?
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah, the very first time I polished my test hood, and I used just a Ryobi DA polisher.
Yeah, a little 8mm.
When I showed the video, there were a lot of people, helpful comments, not mean, telling me you used way too much RPM. I can tell the haze that you were at like 7,000 RPM when you
Yeah.
should have been under 5,800. You should have been like three to
Yeah, and that's
4,000
orbits per minute.
orbits per minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we went over the black sticker there.
Yep.
So that's why we have black on the pad. The pad washer, once again, rinseless wash, doing the work for us.
The process if you didn't have a pad washer.
Get a shallow reserve, like a pie plate, whatever. Just put like a 1/2 inch of rinseless wash on the bottom of it. Touch it, massage the pad a little bit, and then spin it out in a bucket.
Like a massage it at a slow speed or something like that?
No, like
Or
just by hand.
Just by hand.
Stop, yeah. But the rotary, a lot of people are, say it's difficult to control. It's not hard at all to control. So if you want to hold it by the duck bill, you can hold it here with one hand.
I would test it, but that's a little bit different on the side panel.
Here, the angle of your hand, your
Just because
control
you
is
have to
different.
really make sure that you're staying flat.
Your control is different too, because the angle of your hands.
Yeah.
And obviously, these side panels are completely curved.
Down this body line right here.
Yeah. And stand up. You don't need to bend over.
Okay. So it'd be better at this point to turn the pad downwards versus holding it up like this.
Well, you can actually have the machine left to right.
This way?
No, you can have the machine left to right as well.
Oh, okay.
So that way your two shoulders are at the same height. The other important tool is this.
Oh, there you go. Now I'm not going to get on this while I'm operating this machine. So, oh, the knees.
Yeah.
To get there.
What that's for.
To get there, but once you're here, like the workability is. You're right. It makes you stand straight up.
Yeah, it
Like
forces
your
your back to be in
Yeah.
proper posture. You can't slouch even if you wanted to.
I've already got a slouch actually.
So don't go past your shoulders.
Okay.
So no wider than you
Okay,
are.
like right here.
Yeah.
And you could actually turn on this to keep.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, you have to be a little more control of the device because it's going to want to walk on you.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you get to know when you have to actually hold the machine and when you don't.
And then to wipe this off, we use a
Rinseless stamp and
rinse
towel.
stamp and towel.
I'll take the machine from you there, sir. You're not trying to get everything off. You're just
Yeah,
trying
we're
to
just-
get the rinseless to emulsify what's there. And
Then buff off.
yeah.
You really don't even have to do a ton of like buffing, really, either.
No.
Back again. Make it easy.
Yep.
Yeah. You've paid for these machines. Let them do the work for you.
Well, I've never thought about wiping off my polish with a damp towel.
Yeah.
I always used a dry towel to wipe my polish off.
With water, it's not going to work. You need to use the rinseless. What the rinseless actually emulsifies the polishing oils, breaking them down, making them so that it's, it'll
Added
just wipe away.
lubrication.
Adds added lubrication.
Right.
So, any questions on the rotary polisher, gentlemen?
No, I mean,
I don't think so.
definitely took some intimidation away. I mean, it's not necessarily an intimidation, it's just something that you never tried before and you hear all the myths.
Yeah.
But just like when I tried the DA before, it was the confidence and, somebody not wanting to gatekeep,
Yeah.
the different steps that it takes to do it properly and efficiently.
Yeah.
And now people are less gatekeeping and people like me in my garage can polish their own car.
Right. Polishing is something that anyone can do. It's super easy. It's fun. It's effective. It shouldn't be a stressful part of the detail. It should be a relaxing part. Yeah.
When you're done.
And this isn't something you necessarily do. You don't have to cut every time before you do a ceramic coating
No.
or anything. This polish step is easier, it's quicker,
Yeah.
and it gives you a nice enough surface to do a ceramic coating, a nice clean surface.
Yeah.
But if you do want to go crazy, as this is your follow-up step to
Yeah.
a true cut with a DA.
This is preserving the clear coat.
Yeah.
So if you
Yes.
have a customer that doesn't really care about the scratches and stuff, but they just want to kind of have some gloss,
But this is going to
why
get most-
compound and go through all that when you can just do that?
Yeah.
And give them this gloss, and they'd be perfectly happy with it.
Yeah. Preservation over perfection.
Absolutely, because clear coat's getting thinner and thinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is going to get rid of 40 to 50% of those swirls that people see like on black car in the sun at an angle.
Yeah.
Most of those really stand out swirl marks. Actually, this will take care of most
yeah.
of those. It's this deep stuff that, is it worth ruining the clear coat to get to?
No,
Probably not.
I've always said, first of all, in detailing, we never remove a scratch. We remove the clear coat around the
Around the
scratch.
scratch.
So yeah, so it's like arguing with an idiot.
Yeah.
If you're trying to win an argument with an idiot, he's going to bring you down to his level.
Yeah.
Yep.
The scratch is bringing the clear coat down to its level.
The enthusiast in the garage, just like with the gold standard and the pad process,
Yeah.
it just made things just like I said, less intimidating, more confident for me.
Yeah.
And they're just so easy to use. All the things that I was worried about the trim and contaminating and having to tape everything off like the very first time I did. Now it's like, I just knock it out in half that time.
Yeah. To me, someone who's just starting out in detailing, they've got a lot of people when they start detailing, it's because they just bought a new car. And that one they want to take care of, right? The old clunker they didn't want to take care of, now they have a new car. Get the rotary first. The rotary, you're not going to remove as much material. You're going to be able to polish everywhere. It's going to give you better gloss than a DA. It's going to finish beautifully, and it's not an intimidating tool to use. We've got videos, and we'll link them below, of me teaching people that have never polished before. This is their first experience polishing. Every time I do that, they always pick the rotary as their favorite tool.
But for the last 10 years, the detailing world has told us DA, 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 DA.
Yeah, yeah.
For starters.
Oh, yeah.
They've always told us that.
Right.
For the last 10 years at least.
Yeah, 20 actually, but yeah.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
From what I heard, it was DA, don't ever try a rotary because you'll just burn your paint.
Yeah.
That was what I always heard.
Yeah. So with that, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, leave them below. These guys will be answering as well, and we'll see you in the next one. Wait.
And what would you say to the average person that is scared to take the leap and use a rotary? What would you tell that person?
Try it. Two things. Don't go fast, and don't use a flat pad. Those are the two biggest...
My biggest mistakes that I did.
Yeah, well, that everybody does.
Yeah.
Because flat pads are the ones you can find everywhere. Waffle pads are a little more rare. They're a little more niche.
Yep.
Because manufacturers actually don't want to make a waffle pad. It costs them more to do so. That's why it's there. Also, our rotary jeweling pad, the red pad that you used, is half an inch thicker than most other pads on the market. Most pads are 3/4 of an inch. It's 1 1/4 inches. So you get more cushioning. And it's a very soft pad. So it's going to follow, it's going to contour, it's going to do everything you need it to do safely, easily, without any stress.
So here we go. We're taking these gloves off, but we're in Ivan's place. He invited me over here, and that was, just like Brian said in his video, that was one of the first things I wanted to learn how to use a rotary, and to get that intimidation off, learn that confidence, and actually it's easy. Actually, running a pressure washer is to me is harder than one of these because you got to worry about scratching with whatever you're using.
Right.